back. Welcome to episode 3 of the series of the SWOT analysis. And kya hi bolu, thanks to Cricket Cult for doing this for all the viewers out there. How you feel?
No, I think every cricket platform is doing it. It's not unique to us, but yes, it's quite interesting. Looking like when as the tournament draws closer, हर स्क्वाड को देखना, एनालाइज करना, क्योंकि एंड में होना तो जीतना तो उसी ने है जो उसने अच्छा खेलना है. हम तो सिर्फ ऑन पेपर अपने ओपिनियन दे सकते हैं, अपनी दुकानें चला रहे हैं.
तो आपको तो मैं डेफिनेटली गेस करने दूंगी दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग सिंस द मेडन स्टार्ट ऑफ द IPL. All the SRK fans went gaga over this team. I'm pretty sure you must have guessed it by now. It's KKR we're going to talk about. And क्या बोलना है आपको इस टीम के बारे में?
Yeah, off the bat, they're like definitely along with RCB, M and CSK, the top four brands in the IPL. In the history of the IPL, yes, they are two-time winners also. But I'm also talking about fan engagement and the support that the team draws. It's one of the most followed teams in the IPL. We all know how passionate Bengalis are and Kolkata fans are. So no surprises. They're one of the most followed team and most fancied team in the IPL. Whether they're fancied to win this season, I guess as you watch the episode, you'll get to know more.
But it's been a sad situation for KKR fans right now. Maybe they need blessings of Mamta Didi right now. I might say about that. Because since a decade they have not won it. But straight away said, let's get to the SWOT analysis. Let's talk about the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But before that, it's a sad news and the offensive situation for all the KKR fans because their captain Shreyas Iyer is injured right now. My first question is, who is gonna fill in his shoes, according to you?
I think they've left it quite late. मतलब if you ask me, मेरे को यार दो ही options दिखते हैं. Unless there's a wild card entry and Tim's now that Lockie Ferguson is like he's done his hamstring, so I don't know how long he'll take to come back and whether he'll be partaking in this IPL at least the first half. So if Tim Saudi is a certainty, then he's a wild card captaincy choice. But really, you're talking about either Nitish Rana or Sunil Narayan. One of those two will definitely, in my opinion, be the captain.
So, this acts as a strength, I'll ask you. West Indies duo, Andrew Russell and Sunil Narayan, how will they be approaching this season? Will they be able to deliver what KKR requires?
They have done it year after year, so I have no reason to doubt that. But we have to like I'm more confident about Sunil Narayan than and Andre Russell per se, uh, because will he consistently bowl 4 overs? I doubt it. He's been injury prone, and his batting prowess also has come down. It's interesting. The day we are recording this, one day before that, he went unsold in the 100. So that is something that it's quite telling. T20 cricket and especially these franchise-based T20 leagues, they're relentless, right? So you could be at the peak of your powers for a decade and a half, and then as soon as you start winning, you're straight away unsold. So it's a cruel world, but it's a highly professional world. So that if nothing, then that is just an indication of his waning powers.
Also, like KKR has number of all-rounders in their side since the last season and have the option to float them according to their situations. What's your take on it?
Yes, one of the good things that I think that they did was because of Andre Russell's dubious injury record. They, in my opinion, they've got a brilliant like-for-like replacement in David Feaser. Whether both of them will play in the same game, maybe I doubt it. But in case Russell isn't available for every match, I think they've got more than an able replacement in David Feaser, who's an all-rounder. Then obviously Sunil Narayan is an all-rounder. Venkatesh Iyer, we saw, he might have a point to prove after being dropped from the Indian team. His elevation was very quick, but then his downfall was even quicker. Some would say. So he'll have a point or two to prove.
Also, like lot of eyes in this player, Jagdishan. What do you think? How is the value input from his side coming for the favor of KKR?
He lit the Syed Mushtaq Ali and the Vijayadari Trophy on fire.
Yes.
So KKR would be hoping that this is his breakthrough season, and you know because clearly they need him with Shreyas Iyer also now being uh, all but ruled out. I think they would need him and a Mandeep Singh, those sort of players to step up and come to the party. Otherwise, it will be a long season for KKR.
Indeed, indeed. Like we discussed these strengths, like let's go into the weaknesses, what KKR is in for. I have this major concern that is the top order batting concern. What's your take on it?
I'll come to the weaknesses, but I think we've missed out on the major strength. I think their major strength is their spin bowling attack, especially where surfaces might be a little slow. Places like Chepauk, MA Chidambaram Stadium, they in some matches when Shakib is going to be available after the 9th of April,
Hmm.
they could actually go in with Varun Chakravarti, Sunil Narayan, and Shakib Al Hasan.
Yes.
Talking about all-rounder, Shakib Al Hasan is also an all-rounder. Whether Shakib will play all the matches, I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
even the duo of Sunil Narayan and Varun Chakravarti, what the balance that they bring is that they can bowl in the power play, they are wicket takers in the middle over, and they can also bowl at the death. So according to me, those two, and if you add Shakib, their spin attack in general is their biggest strength.
Indeed, but don't you think like they would be missing out on some matches that could act as a threat, as a weakness to the KKR side?
I'm not sure if that's going to be a weakness, but yes, they will miss the services of Liton Das and Shakib Al Hasan. I think they'll only be available for a month. Uh, but if they can leave an impact, then even 7 8 matches we've seen are enough for them to at least push them to the playoffs. Um, but as you said, obviously it's not an ideal situation when someone's not there for the full season. I anyways don't think that Shakib would play all the matches even if he was available,
Mm-hmm.
especially because they have these two spinners in Chakravarti and Sunil Narayan, and once we come to the likely playing 11, we'll talk about the four foreign players, which will also be they'll be you know spoiled for choices.
Another thing that I have to ask, because injuries everywhere for KKR right now, and the major main heroes out there, they tentatively practically out. How would you assess the whole situation? Because this kind of looks like a dark night. Like this looks really, really pensive out for the fans out there.
Obviously, and I think KKR are the worst affected because they've lost their captain and their only star India batsman.
Yes.
If you look at their squad, they don't have many India internationals in their batting. So that obviously those will be shoes that will be hard to fill. Uh, but I still think that their major weakness as like even if Shreyas was there, their top order was their major weakness because, as I said, you don't know how Venkatesh Iyer is like what mind space he's in after being dropped unceremoniously from the Indian team after, no, in my opinion, not being given a fair run. Like uh, you know, if you select someone, then you back them or you don't select them. But that is we can debate that another day. Uh, then you're not sure who's going to open with him with Liton Das not available early on, it might be either a Jagdishan or you'd go with the Maverick Afghanistan player Rahmatullah Gurbaz,
Yes.
uh, who's both of them are unknown commodities in the IPL. Yes, Jagdishan did play for CSK, but he didn't really have a great time. Obviously, he looks like a more confident player now, but until and unless you've done that, you can't be counted on. Shreyas Iyer also, we've seen he's blown hot and cold when it comes to the IPL. Obviously, he's not there now, so that is a deeper problem. Their top order is going to be a weakness. Nitish Rana also, we've seen he starts the IPL with a bang, and then as the season goes on, his performance keeps on declining. So their top order, their inexperience in their top order is definitely their biggest weakness.
Also, this counts on the fact, like the franchisees, like the KKR franchisee, did they actually pick up the players, like ideally? Because I see a fault line out there as well, which can act as a major weakness. They retained.
So what in what terms, like where do you see a fault line? I see David Visa, as I said, as I mentioned earlier, a very smart pick, because with Andre Russell not guaranteed to play every match, he's a good replacement option. Then you've got a Tim Southee and a Lockie Ferguson. uh, let's not forget they also got Shardul Thakur from the Delhi Capitals. They got Lockie Ferguson from Gujarat Titans, and then they already had Tim Southee, who's more than an able backup option for someone like a Lockie Ferguson, who's also injury prone.
Yeah.
So once injuries start affecting you, everything looks like there is a fault line, but you really can't account for that many injuries as they they look like they're suffering.
So, right on the opportunity part right now, I would like to ask you, Rinku Singh, Jagdishan, and Varun Chakravarti to have the chance of their lifetime to showcase their talent and make it to the international platform. Do you see this as a major opportunity for them?
It could be, yes, but the major opportunity for them, and I would include Mandeep Singh in that, who could very well be used as an impact player if he doesn't find a place in the 11. He's shown spark before. He's been in good form when it comes to domestic cricket. He's now an experienced player. He has been a part of different franchises, knows how IPL functions. All of that counts. But yes, one player I'd like to point out is Rinku Singh, who all these years, you could see him as the 12th man doing his best. Uh, you know, um, Even in the field when him, Anukul Roy, players like that, even when they came as 12th men to field, they were diving around, giving it their best. So you feel good for players like that. Now Rinku Singh will probably get a fair run. So if these young Indians can pull through uh, and play as a unit, that is definitely a good opportunity for them in this tournament.
Also, like, what other opportunities are you looking forward for?
As I said, inclusion of Shardul Thakur. Shardul Thakur, don't forget, in an IPL where if there's a 10 situation, you might need a 25 of 2 over. Shardul Thakur can very well wield the willow and win the match for the team. We've seen he's got the golden arm. Yes, he might go for a few runs, but then he always comes up with an important wicket, at least for India, whenever the need arises. So Shardul is also one player who will be hoping to have a big IPL this time.
Wonderful to know about that. Now, let's quick on go to the threats. Don't you think the delegation of roles, like what roles are assigned to which player, could that be a threat? Looking
Mm,
at
I, 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 in my opinion, like we've already discussed, their biggest threat, and that is their injuries. Like Lockie Ferguson might miss out; he'll be a big miss. You don't know about Andre Russell when he's fit, when he's not. The ouster of Shreyas Iyer with injury. Then Little Das, who's been in amazing form, probably not being available for the first few games. Someone like a Shakib not being there. So all of those things, I think they're basically their off-field things. Uh, like any team, injuries will be, I think, their biggest threat. The other threat that I can see with their bowling is now that Lockie isn't there, the death bowling will become a huge concern because even though Tim Saudi is like he's a wonderful new ball bowler. Umesh Yadav is a wonderful new ball bowler. Shardul Thakur has struggled at the death. Umesh Yadav has struggled at the death. We've seen Tim Saudi being taken to the cleaners, absolute cleaners when he's bowling at the death. So when don't forget when they go to places like the Wankhede or they go to places like the Chinnaswamy Stadium, uh, there your death bowling can actually decide the game.
Yeah.
I in fact believe that their two spinners are probably their best death bowlers and their best options at the death. So at least they've got them, yeah. But like that is in my opinion going to be a huge issue for them.
Also, like lot of dependency on the individual glories. Like it had become like a one man show last time. So this kind of hampers their side to win. What's your take on that?
Any team that we've seen that with the great RCB team, right? When they've depended on individuals like a Gale or an AB or a Virat, the other when the whole focus seems to be on them, the other players also sometimes when there's a huge gap, if they're international superstars and you were making your way through domestic cricket, then you also the danger is that you also might look at that player and यार विराट कर देगा यार एबी कर देगा यार श्रेयस कर देगा so that is contagious and not very good for the team. But we've seen that the KKR management and especially under Venki Mysore, they've stuck by their youngsters and they've backed their youngsters. Who can forget Manvinder Bisla's amazing season and that amazing knock when they won uh, against Punjab, right? Um, oh, sorry, against CSK in 2012. Who can forget that innings? So that remains to be seen. As I said, you never know if they click as a unit. They've got enough firepower in them to reach the top four. But we can only judge right now on paper, right? And there, I think there are some gaping holes and, as to use your words, some fault lines.
Also, okay, so that right now I'd like to ask you, who is your tentative playing 11?
Uh, so I've made it according to the first game because that's all we can do. And once Litton Das comes back, I think he'll slot in at the opening position. But I have made the team considering that he's not there for the first game. And Lockie might not be fit because he was ruled out of the ODI. So Rehmatullah Gurbaz and Venkatesh Iyer will be my openers. At number three, I will have a Jagadisan. At, at number four, I will have Nitish Rana, who, in my opinion, could be one of the captaincy candidates. At number five, the very hardworking, honest trier Rinku Singh. At number six, you've got Andre Russell. Then number seven, I've got Shardul Thakur. Number eight, Sunil Nayan, or it could be either way. Then Umesh Yadav, Tim Saudi, and Varun Chakravarti. And Mandeep Singh, like if the batting, if you need a batting impact player, then Mandeep Singh could act as a impact player. And if you need a spinner, someone like an Anukul Roy could also come till the time you know they need a third spinner. If they need a third spinner,
Wow,
that would be my technical playing 11.
that is so that let's like kickstart the rapid fire season rapid fire session right now, not like KJO wala, but the proper one. Straight cut, I'll ask you likely top scorer for KKR.
Openers face the most number of balls, so I'll go with Venkatesh Iyer.
Likely top wicket taker.
You can't look past Sunil Narayan when it comes to KKR.
Number of times KKR has won the IPL.
Twice, 2012 and 2014.
And who do you think is the emerging player?
I'll go with Jagadisan.
Okay, now this is one of the interesting questions I'm going to ask you. Let's see if you can answer that. What's the slogan for KKR? क्या है?
All ball, jeet bo.
Thinking how you would like, yeah, true follower of the IPL season. Thank you, Siddharth, for your wonderful insight. Yet again, we'll be again back with a power-packed episode. So yes, do you have something to say now?
No, just keep. Thank you, Pramita, and guys, keep giving us your love as you already do, but increase it tenfold. We're very greedy people when it comes to love, um, and so we're at Cult Cricket on Twitter. We're Cricket Cult official on Instagram, and our website is cricketcult.com, and we're Cricket Cult on YouTube. So please follow, share, subscribe, give us your love, and thank you so much. Thank you, Pramita.
Also, I'll be tagging Cricket Cult on all my Instagram posts. So, guys, like, share, subscribe, and reshare. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much.